1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. We are back, man. It's your boy Friday Ricky Dread here with another interview for your head top. Big salute to the members who are able to watch this early in real time while we're recording this. I got a special guest who's coming back to the show right now. He's been over here doing his thing, making some of the best YouTube documentaries that you could find over here on this platform. And he's definitely gone through his share of controversy at the same time. I'm really, really happy to bring back my homie, Matt from What's the Dirt in the mother effing building. What's going on, bro?
The perfect intro. You just,
I do this, man. I do this, man.
This is my third time right now.
Yeah, and bro, you've been a controversial person on the channel, man. We've had some crazy time since the last episode. Tell me about some of the stuff that you've been doing lately, as far as like your newest videos, because you kind of strayed away from the battle.
I definitely strayed away from the battle. Had to stray away from the battle, and then at a certain point, I kind of like really lost even the infinite, like the confidence to even do content for a little bit. Like if you look in 2025, I haven't dropped that much, and it's only over the last couple months where I've been really firing again, right? Yeah. And trying to get away from the battle and do other things. But in terms of hip hop, bro, like stuff about the battle still does good. It does.
Yeah. That battle is the gift that keeps on giving. You know what I'm saying?
Straight off, it really is. Well, I think the lawsuit prolonged it more than anything, and then the tour, and then the Super Bowl, and there's just constantly things to talk about, right? But yeah, I was trying to do like smaller bite-sized content, but now I'm trying to get back to the actual, like I think what I'm good at, or what I think the channel's known for, is doing breakdowns and really taking my time to make like longer pieces, right? So I'm gonna get back to that and say, fuck the sorry for cursing, but stay away from like the smaller bite-sized videos.
But let's get into the smaller bite-sized videos for just a minute, right? Because I know those are not as painstaking as doing those super longer, like you started getting into like 1 hour documentaries at one point. Like take us through the process of making those. Like are they like more quicker to make? Is it
yes,
factory manufacturer kind of quick type shit?
100%. And I don't go as hard on the edit either, right? Like I really pull it back a bit, and like I don't go as hard on the edit. And if it's something simple like my thoughts on the new Wayne album, then like I'll put that video out in a day, right? Something like me having my thoughts on how I think Drake's next album is going to do, that took like a day and a half or 2 days, right? Those videos don't take research. It's just my own thoughts, really, right? So those are quick. But the other ones, yeah, like research could take weeks. And then the rest can take weeks too, right? There's videos that I've worked on for 6 weeks, almost up to 2 months.
Low key, don't you feel like that is kind of relieving, bro, to not have to feel like, that daunting task of, I know this is going to take 3 weeks to do the research on this video. Oh, it's just a couple of days. Oh, this is great.
It is. And then like you look and I'm like, oh, like I worked so long on this video and it only got like 30, 40,000 or not even cracked 20,000. And then I'll put out something like that Drake video in a day, and that's almost at like 100 or 90 or something, right? So it's like, and then now I find myself, if I am working on a bigger project, like the one I'm working on now, I'm wondering like, am I wasting my time? Like, is this going to hit, or am I like really, should I be doing more smaller videos? So it's like, maybe I should just try and do little ones in between the bigger ones, right? Maybe I should stick with that, but I just don't want to oversaturate it. And where it gets to the point where they know me for the longer videos and the more like think pieces, right? And then they start seeing all this fluff on my channel. Like that's kind of what I'm fighting with.
But you mentioned the hiatus, right? And we're gonna get into like all of that stuff of like how we got to the hiatus and stuff. But like, what is it? What did it take to get you back into the studio creating videos, man? I know there must have been something that was like, you know what? All right, F it.
You
I'm a
know,
shits, man.
do you know what's crazy, bro? It was I was really, really demotivated. And then I watched Pharrell's Lego movie, which
Mm.
I don't know why, but I found that Lego movie crazy inspiring. Like I watched it a few times. I think he did a great job on it. And something about that Lego movie, I watched it and I came back downstairs. And then ever since I've been finding myself more because I used to love being down here, right?
Yeah.
I used to love it. And then at a certain point, it became really not fun. I think it became not fun because of the pressure of it, and then like a lot of the hate I was getting too. And then at a certain point for me, it felt like I was second guessing everything I'd write down because I was
Mm.
afraid if people were so mad at me for my Family Matters breakdown, I was saying things that I didn't know clearly that was gonna offend people. So as I'm doing a script, I'm like, am I saying anything here that could like blow up on me and get me in trouble? Like I don't want to get in trouble anymore, right? So a
Yeah.
lot of the scripts that I wrote like ended up in the garbage can beside me. There were videos I worked on for days and days and days, and I would talk myself out of putting it out. And so that I was dealing with that for a long time and still kind of am, right?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So you're trying to tell me that you created videos that you didn't even release, bro? Come
Tons,
on.
tons. There was videos I spent days and days and days writing and scripting. I had a full video on the Super Bowl, and I talked myself out of that because of like the subject matter of the Super Bowl, and
Yeah.
I was like, like Kendrick's message in that, is it really best for me to be breaking this down? Like when I really zoomed out and looked at it, like there's so much potential for me to say something wrong that like I don't know I'm saying wrong. So I backed out of that one. And there's been ones like that where I backed out of. There's lots of videos I've started and stopped. There's lots of ideas that don't make it onto the screen. Lately, I've been gaining my confidence back, but that was something I really struggled with. Bad, bad.
That's interesting, bro. Like, I gotta
Mm-hmm.
be honest, just from just hearing that answer, man. And you don't have to agree because I know that you might still be a little bit for lack of a better terms, tender about this. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like the
Yeah.
wounds. But I feel like low key, Kendrick fans are kind of bullying you, bro.
Oh, they definitely are. They definitely are, bro. Like I got a few things against me. Like one, I make pro Drake content. I wouldn't even say it's pro Drake content. It's just fair Drake content.
Mm-hmm.
Two, I've criticized Kendrick. I'm not gonna treat him like the second coming of Christ. If you don't do that, you're gonna get hate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm white. I'm from Canada. Like I got a lot of things going against me, right? So the worst thing is like the way that YouTube's working right now in 2025, bro, in hip hop, like in a lot of these spaces, it's like pro Drake content will not pay. Even pro Kendrick content doesn't do as well as hate Drake content is doing the best. Someone
Interesting.
could do a really beautiful, great piece on Kendrick, and sure, it'll get it'll get respectable views. But if you do a hate piece on Drake, 3 times the views, 4 times the views, which I think
Wow.
really comes back to the battle. Like you could just really scroll down through some of these creators, you could see when they're talking about Kendrick in a positive light, it's not doing as good if they're trashing Drake's lawsuit or trashing whatever Drake's doing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
So
that.
do you think that people are making, and I'm not trying to put any names on any bullets or anything, but just in general, do you think that there's creators out there who are making anti-Drake or let's say pro-Kendrick content just to move the algorithm, just to pay these bills? Rent's
100%.
due.
100%, man. 100%. Like, I know how that feels to be sitting here. Like, sometimes I think, like, wow, like if all I had to really do was just sit here and glaze Kendrick and talk shit about Drake, and I will be in such a good standing right now, even after my controversy. Had I came back, did meet the Grams, did not like us, and just followed that path of never saying really anything positive about Drake and just shitting on him, I'd be in a beautiful position right now. 100%. There's no doubt about it. Most of the people would have forgiven me for anything that was said, right? I
That's
know that.
crazy.
I'm not willing to do that. I'm not willing to do it
Yeah, yeah.
because it's not real, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
That's crazy just to think about it, man, because that means there's like people who are actually giving disingenuous takes just because they're like, listen, man, I ain't trying to risk my channel, getting what happened, like, well, what's the dirt? You know what I'm saying? Even though they might be like, I don't know about that Playboy Cardi move or something like that. You know what I'm saying? They'll just keep it to themselves.
There's a lot of people, like, I was surprised when Fantano did it because he got a lot of hate, but the way it is with him, he's got an audience. His audience is not built on Kendrick fandom.
Yeah.
Like mine was.
And it's not only built on hip hop. Like, he has a huge hip hop fan base, but he's reviewing like the Crows and all these different groups that have nothing to do with hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he does indie rock and like he's a music reviewer. He's a music head, right? So
yeah,
he didn't get the bulk of his audience from Kendrick like I did. Like most of my, I only realized it like in the last few months where I'm like, when I stopped covering Kendrick's content and really the beef, like I lost my audience pretty much because my audience wasn't even so much Drake people. I think it is more now, but I think mainly my audience was the Kendrick fans because when I was doing these breakdowns, they were going crazy online with it. It was on Reddit everywhere and Twitter, and like they were crazy supportive for those breakdowns. So most of my audience were probably Kendrick fans, right? And they didn't like how it played out with Family Matters.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
And just to reiterate, right? Because I think a lot of people think that we're like right next door to each other because we're both in Canada. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
You're in not in Vancouver, but in BC, right? Can we like reiterate that for the audience? Like, we're not like, or how the distance between us is?
Bro, it's crazy how people, it's almost like they think Toronto is the only place that exists because even when it came to going to see Kendrick, I would have personally loved to go see Kendrick. I would have went if he was close. And I get people saying, why would you not go see Kendrick when it's right there? And I'm like, it's literally on the other side of the country, bro. Like there's a whole other country here. Like it's just not Toronto. But like I've had to repeat that a million times.
That's literally why I'm asking, because of that concert right there. And I've seen other videos where I've seen you on video answering your live audience saying like, dude, like I'm so far away from the Rogers Center, I can't make it. Right?
Like, that's what it is, man. Like, but yeah, I guess they didn't really learn much about Canada's geography, but it seems like Toronto is the only place. And maybe that's because of Drake, because he pretty much put Toronto on the map, if we're being honest.
Yeah. So what's your thoughts on the concert itself and the behavior of the Toronto audience over the 2 days of that concert? What are your thoughts on it?
Bro, I found it not that surprising because it's a global artist. Like Kendrick is a superstar. He had the biggest record of last year. I'm not surprised that you could find people in Toronto, nearby cities, whatever, that are going to go there and chant that record. It's a massive pool we're going from, right? And I think about you with this because I remember months and months back, you were like one of the real first people to be vocal and say like, not like us is about Canadians, right? You got so much hate for that.
I did.
And no one really said much. Like you got so much hate. And then it wasn't until the concert happened where this narrative was everywhere. Like, oh, he's shitting on Canada he's talking about you. Like, and I heard people like academics and lots of other creators bring up that concept that you had. That
salute to Mucho TV.
Supported what you were saying, right? And because people, they could say all day, oh, it's about OVO. Like, it's not, bro. It's about how Drake's not from hip hop culture. Canada's not tied to, like, it's not of it. It's not from it, right? That's what I take from it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? How did it feel for you to see, like, you know, it must feel good to see other creators like big people like academics and people like that are, you know, kind of regurgitating what you said months back, but you got so much heat.
What the problem I had with it is the fact that nobody said shit to them. I got a bunch of arrows for saying that shit, and people gaslighting me, telling me, no, this is why you're wrong. These are the exact same reasons. You don't understand. Maybe it's because of where you're from. Every excuse in the book. And it's like, academic says it. Nobody says peep. Mucho says it. Like, people are agreeing over here. Like, yeah, that's kind of, maybe calling us cucks is a little crazy, but yeah, I see your point. Like, I'm like,
100%.
hello, said that already.
Yeah, no,
Hello.
you got really cooked because I remember you said it on Twitter, which is probably the worst place to be saying anything.
Mhm.
These days I don't care. But yeah, and then you said it in the Culture United, right? And you went back and forth with them. Yeah, I remember. Well, if they're saying like, oh, maybe if it's from where you're from, it's like, what do you mean by that? Like, you're pretty much supporting what I'm saying, right?
Basically,
Like,
it's crazy.
what do you mean by that?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I feel like, bro, it's to be expected at a show that size, and like that, like the reaction from the crowd to Drake in Toronto, it made me think, which is why I made that video on other people having that happen in their city where they got dissed and like being curious about the crowd's reaction, right? And it's pretty like the only concert that really where they got booed was with Beanie Siegel, where
Yeah.
Jadakiss dissed him, right? Other than that, like Drake went to Philly and dissed Meek. Back to Back was a big record. Drake is a global artist. He was the hottest artist at the time, right? So are you really that surprised that he could find people in Philly and nearby cities that would, chant back the back-to-back record?
To me, it's a matter of what level of stadium or arena or whatever place that you're venue basically that you're playing. So if you're at the level that you're going to be playing at an arena or a stadium, chances are the people are going to be with you, whoever you're dissing, even if it's somebody from their own city. But if you're still at the theater level, then there's chances are somebody's going to jump you because they're you can get a mixed audience in those types of levels of stardom, I guess.
Yeah, at the end of the day, too, man, it's entertainment, right? People are entertained by it. They want to go A minor. They want to they want to go there and do that. Like that's just they think it's funny, right? It's just it is what it is. But yeah, like to me, I think it was the perfect cherry on top for Kendrick to end off the beef. Well, I thought he was ending it, but now he's going to Australia and doing it. And for as long as he's touring or performing, he's pretty much got to do that record because it's one of his biggest records. He can't not do a show and not do Not Like Us. He's always going to have to do that record.
I don't know about that.
You don't think so?
Well, okay. Drake had back to back. All right, back to back. We're not going to act like it was as big as Not Like Us. However, at the time was a huge record, and he was performing it everywhere, doing the victory dance on top of Meek's head. Okay, but after a while, he had to retire it. Even before the beef, he retired the song.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. But I feel like Not Like Us is Kendrick's biggest record. He don't have a lot of those. Like he don't have like that much to pull from like Drake. Drake can retire back to back and be cool with it. But Kendrick is not catching as many records as Drake. So Kendrick probably might need Not Like Us. You know what I mean? I'm just being honest. Drake
can see that right there, man. That's that type of shit that gets you in trouble.
Well, like just go hit for hit, man. Like if we're talking about hits, like at a live show, you're gonna do hits, right? So
Drake, how dare you be out here telling the truth?
I'm just telling the truth. Like Drake can be like, okay, back to back, yeah. Like what did it go? Number 4 for me or something? Like yeah, like that didn't even go number 1, man. I'm not even gonna do that. But Kendrick, if he got number 4, well, Kendrick might want to perform that. That's a big record for Kendrick.
Yeah, or even if you know what, I'll even give the benefit of the doubt, all right, so that the K-bots don't kill us today. If that song was like not number 1 on the charts, like let's say it hit like number 10 even, and that's pretty high.
Big record.
It's still a huge record, but he would probably retire it earlier But because it's a #1 record, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt that he can continue the victory lap until 2026.
Yeah. And I mean, I saw Complex gave it #1, like biggest or most impactful diss. For me, I'm not going to argue that because I just can't think of anything that's really ever going to beat that. I think Kendrick will always have it. I can't see anyone coming ahead of him and doing what he just did with a diss record.
Yeah.
I can't see anybody winning Grammys and doing Super Bowls and lawsuits and everything else that's tied to it. Like, how do you top that? How do you top that?
Man, you mentioned that lawsuit and it just like made my skin crawl. I'm looking at my list of questions here on my phone and it's not even right on my list, but like, bro, can we get into that for a second, man? Because the new developments that just came out from there, they're pushing a heavy on it's defamation, but it's not really looking like we're doing this for the better of all hip hop. It's just like, bro, you said some wild shit to me on a record and I want you to pay for this. Or I want the label, the label that owns the music to pay for this.
Yeah, I mean, because otherwise he would go after Kendrick. And I think to really have a better understanding of why Drake is doing it, you probably had to know what his relationship was like with UMG throughout the years. Like, obviously, there's more that went on, right? Obviously, there's definitely more that happened between them and their relationship that we don't know. And that's what I would really like to find out from the lawsuit or from Drake's music. Or one, like, why are you doing this? Two, like, there's a lot that I'd like to hear from Drake on his next project, right?
Yeah. Now even like getting towards there, because now that we're a year and change removed from the battle, what are your thoughts on both of these guys' moves post battle?
Kendrick hasn't made a single mistake, so I don't really know what. Like, the dude is doing 100% everything right. I don't know what kind of team. Obviously, he's got an amazing team to move the way he has and execute what he has. Like, I can't think of anything the guy's done wrong. As far as Drake, he gets a lot of criticism. I don't really like the lawsuit. I've said that from day one. But if you take that away, I think he's recovered pretty well. I think No Key is a big record. I like most of the things he put out. I don't like Tumaza too much. I feel like that is I could see what he tried to do. Like, he obviously made that for the city of Toronto. Like, I think he could have gave Smiley a better look, maybe, if he didn't do like the Toronto accent Drake.
Agreed.
And I'm not big on it, just being honest. I'm not big on the Toronto accent Drake. But obviously people probably in Toronto like the record. I just think it could have been bigger because it's very niche, right? Like that sort of record's really niche. But I'm really excited for what he's doing next, bro. I'm really excited I think he's got finally a lot to talk about. And I think we're gonna get some good music.
Yeah. I'm hoping so too, man. I think so. I
can't see him putting out. Well, first off, like, let's be real. Drake doesn't really put out terrible albums. He's got some that are better than others, but Drake's pretty consistent with what he's doing. But I think this one's going to be something different, I think, for him. I'd be shocked if he put out shitty, like garbage, right? I just can't see it happening.
Yeah, I think he's going to wrap his ass off on this next one, man. Like, people are going to be like, holy shit, man. Where did you get that battery in your back from, fam? You know what I'm saying? Like, he'll be like possessed by Eminem and MF Doom at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to have like a lot of rapping on there. But I think, bro, more than anything, I think he's going to be aiming to dominate the charts again. I think he's going to just completely do what he used to do. I think Drake is going to, like, and this is just my prediction, I think Drake is about to have another run. People say his run's over. I don't think so. I don't think so at all.
Yeah. Listen, man, salute to the boy. I know for the people who are going to be watching the replay of that, they're going to be like, okay, enough with the Drake glazing already, guys.
And like, is that Drake glazing though? Like, is it Drake glazing to be like, I think he has the potential to still make good music? Is that glazing or is that just common sense? Like, is that
you know what? It's a good question because what's good for he is not good for thee. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying it in the wrong way. But it's an analogy that I'm making, right? What's good for me is not good for thee, or whatever the analogy is, because Drake as an artist getting older, he's getting put under a different microscope. But I feel like his microscope is bigger than the other artists that are in his age group. He has
100%?
different expectations than other guys who are in their late 30s going into their, or even guys who are in their early 40s. They're not expected to be the top shit, and he is.
Well, he did it for 15 years, right? So what do you expect? That's just the expectation. People got so used to him achieving these like incredible results that we almost got used to it. I think he was getting bored at a certain point too, right? I think he was getting bored. I think this is what he needed. That's why I'm so confident he's going to put out some really good music, because I think he's being looked at as an underdog by a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I think that fires him up. I know it does, right? So hopefully he comes through. No pun intended.
No, for sure, for sure. I gotta ask you. I'm gonna get into a little mixy territory for a second. All right, brother?
Sure.
Because you be on the Twitters. We spoke about the Twitters earlier, and most recently you had a back and forth with TDE Punch on Twitter.
Yeah.
What happened there, man? Can we get into like how that started and where we are now?
Yeah, like I got nothing against TDE Punch. The guy is a legend. Like, let's just not mix words at all. Like what he did is impossible not to respect. He's a founding member of TDE. Like, look at everyone that came up under that conglomerate, like Schoolboy, J Rock, Ab-Soul, Kendrick, SZA. Don't like he's still going. They're still going and they're thriving. And so I got mad respect for everything he's done. But it got to a point where I was seeing a lot of those guys are trying to push this thing. And it bothers me because I get it all the time. People assume for some reason by proxy that I'm a Trump fan or that I support Trump or whatever. And I've been seeing this narrative go around so much, and they're trying to tie it back to Drake. And he's trying to make it seem like all of Drake's fans are like subscribed to this ideology and they all hate women and they're all, and I could see where they get that from, because I think Aiden, obviously he's very vocal about Drake. I think he supports Trump. Ack, I'm pretty sure, same thing. So I could get where that comes from. But when you start painting entire fan bases with that brush, I think that's really problematic. I think is really, really dangerous. And I think it's just disrespectful, really. So when I seen him make a tweet about that or something in that vein, he said something like, it's crazy how the battle went. You know, it's so divided. Hip hop is so divided. And he's saying you can almost tell like which side agrees with which politician, which sports star, which this. And that's coded language for Drake's fans or Trump fans. So I didn't like that. I had to say that's ignorant. And this is not debatable. That is an ignorant thing to say, because I had to say Drake is a global artist with so many fans. You can't say that they're all Trump fans. You can't say that.
Yeah.
Like in Canada, like, sure, we've got conservatives here, but for the most part, bro, this is a liberal place. Like
the liberal guy won. He just won.
Well, we've been liberal for how many years now? Like in a row?
Bro, people were thinking, okay, maybe Polyev is gonna win this one, and they voted for Carney, the liberal. So
it's crazy.
I don't know,
bro.
man.
I voted for Jagmeet.
Oh, watch it, man. You might get goofs in your DMs, bro.
That's funny, bro. Yeah, no. So when I saw that, yeah, and then he chirped back at me, and of course he brought up the 37 N-word thing from my breakdown a year prior, which I'm never gonna live down, obviously, because it's a stupid thing to say in hindsight. But to me, that was just deflecting from the point that I was making. And that was the gist of what we said. I'm pretty sure he said, like, I'd love to see you, or let's meet up, or something like that, which I don't think he wants to meet up to talk. He probably, we can assume what that means. I don't know.
Bro, you got to be careful because I've been following, you know what I'm saying? And you said something about I'm going to LA soon and all types of shit. I'm like, Matt, don't get gangster with these actual like LA gangsters, bro.
Yeah, I mean, like, if it was a fair one-on-one, I don't think dude would have a chance. But outside of that, it's probably not going to be fair. So you're right.
Bro, they'll know when you come out at the LAX, bro. You know what I'm saying?
They'll get me right at the airport.
Just
Right
careful,
outside.
bro. And you did mention it, as far as the issue, the back and forth that you guys were having, right? He brought up the 37 N-words, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'll be remiss because people are gonna be watching this later and they'll be like, so Friday, you ain't gonna ask him about the 37 N-words? What's up with that? Cool. I'm not even gonna say the word because I'm not gonna demonetize myself, but it's raccoon without the ra, basically. So I
Yeah.
don't want to be called one of those.
Yeah.
Walk one. How did you come up with that analogy, sir?
Bro, the reason why I came up with that analogy, first off, I was like, when the battle was going on, I wasn't really sleeping that much. Like, I was constantly in here and, like, obviously overanalyzing things. And I think because I went so hard for Kendrick and I did come up with some interesting theories, I was trying to do the same for Drake. And knowing how Drake raps, right? And knowing that Kendrick said in Euphoria, we don't want to hear you say the N word no more.
Right.
And then Family Matters right away, I'm hearing him say it every 2 seconds. I'm like, oh, like, he's really turning up with the use of the N word. And Kendrick told him not to say it. How many times did he say it? And then I just go Control F, and then it comes up 37. And I'm like, same age as Drake. That's a pretty crazy stat. And I put it in. Like, in hindsight, Drake probably never sat there and did that. Like, obviously not, right? But, like, I was just doing what I did for all the other breakdowns, right? I didn't think it was that big of it wasn't supposed to be some, like, holy shit, he's a genius. How did he figure that out?
Yeah.
I debated on putting it in there. I wish I didn't put it in there, but it is what it is now, right?
Oh man, that's gonna go down in history right there,
Oh,
bro.
I know. What can you do though? I'm just look. Wait, actually, I got a soundbite on here. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
That's Screwface.
Oh man. But listen, bro, it is what it is. It happened. I think that we'll chalk it up to a reach and just lack of sleep, bro. You're going way too hard in the pain at them times, bro.
Well, yeah, and I was just constantly over analyzing the bars, right? Is what it comes down to. Looking for something that wasn't there, obviously. And that's what it comes down to. I just really wanted to do a really good job and be meticulous and give people something, you know what I mean? Like, and I got into the weeds with it and had a bad take.
But and we're gonna get off of that. Low key, I think people think that you're a pro OVO type of, like, a OVO mole, or not a mole, but like you're an OVO agent, basically. You got the happy dad in the back, and everybody who has happy dad is OVO associated, and you know what I'm saying? But I'll tell the audience right now, Drake is not the fondest of Busted Dirt. Okay,
I wouldn't think
I'm
so.
saying this from a person who's a behind the scenes person. Okay, I rarely do this where I reveal different conversations, and I'm not going to do it now. But it's not like Drake is throw what's the dirt on a regular basis. Like, yo, that's my guy. Like, it's kind of the opposite.
I never spoke to him in my life, and it's crazy. People be like, "Follow the Happy Dad money. Follow the Happy Dad money." It's like, guys, just all you got to do is a simple Google search to find out that Drake has nothing to do with Happy Dad. Like, he knows Kyle from the ownership, but it's just got nothing to do with it. I think academics having it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure. Why would Drake like me after something like 616? Like, that breakdown make him look terrible, right? And I'm not here to get Drake to like me. I'm just being honest and fair about his content. I'm a fan first, right? I'm a fan first.
Yeah. We're gonna go back into the weeds for a second.
Let's
because there was an issue that came out post our last. It wasn't our last conversation. It was a conversation I had with Curtis King. That's what happened. And from there, y'all went to World War V.
Well, he did.
Did it start from our interview?
100%, because that's all dudes like him need, right? He like all. Meanwhile, he's saying all this shit about me, little sly comments, making diss records about me. I go in the comment and say one thing, and right then and there, that's enough for him to make content for like 5 days, right? I did fire back him on Twitter.
Not to interrupt you, right? But I need to know about the diss records because, listen, we already had the whole apologizing as far as like I apologized for letting you go crazy in my chat and stuff like that. But there was a reason why you didn't like him in the first place, and you were jumping in the chat, and that's what we need to get to the root of. What, even though, like, yes, obviously it wasn't right to be jumping in the chat while we were having our live and we're past that part now. I want to know why. And you're saying that there was diss songs that were out.
Yes, and in his lives and stuff, people will send me clips of him like clowning me here and there, saying this and that, and then he had actual bars about me in a song just like a few weeks before that. So that's why I went on. I can't even remember what I said to him now in the chat. I don't think it was any crazy, but
it was something about 40-year-old artist or something like that, or I don't remember exactly. It was an age shot or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Did I? I can't remember what I said now, but that was enough for him. That's all. Delete it's one thing. That's just content. But Curtis King he's gonna get his face smacked off.
Yeah. Well. Okay, we're out of the weeds, Matt. We're out of the weeds.
No problem.
Now, okay, with this whole battle thing, right? And our audiences, the audiences being so toxic, because I know the audiences really helped to exacerbate all of these issues and everything that even we went through in this last segment, right? Is the audience at the point where they can like both artists again?
No.
Or are we no? we're still on pick a side land?
Bro, I think if you get off like outside of Twitter and YouTube comments, maybe it's just like normal. And even when you look at the concert, like Kendrick was able to fill up a stadium in Toronto. Like, the people in that audience don't think like the people we see on Twitter and YouTube comments. Like, those people aren't normal. They're just not normal, right? They eat, live, and breathe the beef. Like, you can go on Twitter right now, and I guarantee you can find a spaces somewhere that is talking about the battle right now and dissecting how Drake won, or you can find a spaces where there's Kendrick fans in droves trying to figure out where Drake's missing daughter is. Like, people made this their entire existences, right?
Yeah.
And it really kind of fucked up hip hop, if I'm being real. And I find the culture is being weaponized like crazy. Like, everything's the culture. Like, and I'm seeing people, to me, like white people, other white people, being like, you're not part of the culture. And it's like, what are you talking about? like, bro, like, this is so stupid. I'm starting to realize too, like, a lot of the people that be like harping for Kendrick and like in the comment, a lot of them are white, bro. A lot of them are white.
It's white people looking for acceptance, in my opinion.
100%. 100%. I stopped doing that.
Yeah, yeah. It's just to me, when it comes to content, especially in the YouTube space, I feel like you just got to be yourself, and the chips will fall where they may. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. That's what I'm gonna
Yeah,
keep doing.
yeah.
At the end of the
Even
day,
even with YouTube itself, right? Like, where do you think hip hop content specifically, like not in general, but where do you think the hip hop content space is going? Like now that we've had all of this battle, breakdown videos have become like with this a gazillion guys making breakdown videos now, bro. It's out of control, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, it's pretty.
where are we going
I,
now? What's next?
I saw Jeremy Heck was getting heat for like he broke down Kendrick's recent verse,
Hmm.
and he was trying to like say it was from Trump's perspective, and he was just getting totally roasted really, really bad. And I was thinking like, and I'm seeing the comments to him too. It's like white Canadian out of the culture. This is the problem. And like, I'm like, yo, we don't need to say very much to like get people mad, right? Like
Yeah,
you really got to be on your P's and Q's. Like, and he's pretty, he's in that crowd, right? So it's like, but I saw he was getting a lot of hate, and I didn't even think it was like a bad theory. But did you see that?
hmm. I saw the clip. I saw the clip from the podcast, the bigger picture.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
and salute to Jeremy. You know what I'm saying? But like
Yeah. Salute to Jeremy.
he's in a zone where he has to tread lightly. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's being genuine, but
Yeah.
he also has to be choosy with his words because he's Canadian, white, and living over there in LA. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, um,
Big facts.
I'm sure he has Drake opinions that sometimes he might pull back a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Not all the time, not completely, but not as gung ho as maybe he might want to be. And
Well,
I could be wrong.
when you look at who he's around, bro, feel like he's around DJ Head and people like that. Like he's in LA. So he's probably being pretty influenced by the opinions of the people around him, especially if they're like at a higher status than him or whatever. So I think that's influencing him too, right? Like maybe he's really changing his opinions because he lives in LA and he's around these people. And maybe he once was a little bit more pro Drake. I don't think he's really terrible on Drake.
Not
I
really.
think he's generally fair, but over time I can imagine like, you know, slowly like turning the other way with it, right?
Yeah, yeah. Your environment that you're in and stuff like that. It's a vibe, man. You start being like,
Hmm.
I love it out here, man. I,
Hmm.
I could understand, man. You know what? Besides the YouTube content creation question, it kind of brings me to a question. I was having a conversation with my co-host, DJ Czar. Salute to him.
Yeah.
And because Canada Day just happened the other day, do we have the same kind of patriotism for Canada that Americans have for America?
Oh, I don't think so, bro. I mean, we do, but like, I don't know, man. It's America, right? Like, Americans are very patriotic. In fact,
Mhm.
wasn't that word created for America?
I think so,
Like,
actually.
patriotic is based off patriot, right? Let me look
Yeah,
this up.
I'm not sure now. No, not when you
I got to look
mention
this
it.
up.
Yeah, yeah, because you know we don't have that same type of sentiment. Like, I don't see people wearing Canadian flag clothing.
Not really.
You know what I'm saying? There's nobody wearing a track suit, like a K-way track suit, head to toe with Canadian flag clothing, just on a regular day. Maybe on Canada Day, but like I've seen
Mhm.
Americans wear like track suits and shit like that with the American flag on it, like
Oh
on a
man, like
Tuesday.
100%, bro. Even like when I was in Mexico, like sitting at the pool bar or whatever, like there's lots of Americans going around with like the American flag and like they want to
Hmm.
make it known that they're from there. They're very proud of where they're from.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it says here that in the American Revolution, Patriot became a proud label for colonists who oppose British rule.
Wow,
A person who
wow.
deeply loves and supports their country. I guess it is now. It's like more of a general word
Yeah,
now. But yeah, I think they're definitely more proud of their country than us. The thing is with I think Canada, it's more of like a province pride because being from Newfoundland, I'm really proud of being from there because we
Mhm.
got like our own culture. Like it's way different than the other provinces. Then like you're from Quebec, right? So
Yep.
that's a whole other culture too. Um, um, I think people are more proud of the provinces they come from than even like the country, maybe.
Interesting. I never even thought about it like that. It's facts, like,
Yeah,
but
because
I
like
never thought about it like that.
you go to Saskatchewan and there's a culture, different culture there. Alberta is like its whole other country. Alberta is pretty much could be technically part of America, really.
Mhm.
Like with the way people like it's very conservative there. It's oil and gas.
Yeah. People are wearing cowboy hats.
People are wearing just people wearing cowboy hats there. They want to be from Texas. Like I'm pretty sure weren't they even saying that they wanted to like maybe part from Canada or like there was talks of that or something?
I that might have been my home place, Quebec, man. I know that
Oh yeah,
we're
you
we're
got
we're
yeah.
we're separatist, a
Oh yeah,
separatist
no. I've met
province. You
lots
know what
of
I'm
people
saying?
from Quebec like that. A Quebecois.
Yeah. The sovereignty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, ça va te. Quebecois.
So it's a little bit different over there. We already had this. We're our own country type of vibe from like the '70s and '80s, broski. It's different over there.
It
But as
is
far as
different.
like what you're saying, like a province by province, like yeah, it's not as much of a if you don't like our Canadian values, get out. Like I hear that in America. Like if you don't like it over here, you can get out.
I hear
You
it
know?
all the time. It's crazy because I don't really follow politics like that, but since I even got into doing hip hop content, I really start to realize like where I get the comments and stuff,
Mhm.
I see the division in real time and I've really learned a lot more about how divided America is. I think it's sad. I think it's sad how bad it is over there and how like mixed matched opinions are. Like even when the Trump shit was going on, bro, like when the Iran stuff was going on,
Mhm.
I don't usually follow politics, but I found this pretty interesting. So I was like looking on Fox and then they're saying one thing and then you go on CNN and it's like the complete opposite news. Like they're and then you do MSNBC or whatever, and it's like a whole other thing. And then it's like, man, this is kind of confusing. Like like even your news is divided.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the land of milk and honey, but it's also a crazy place, bro. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm. I don't think it's like that for us here, right?
No,
Where we
not
got like our news is not like I don't look at global news as like left or right. Do you? Or like I don't
I,
look at CBC as
it is like well, I guess it's there, but I don't feel like we're as politically educated as a lot of people in America on a mainstream level because it doesn't mean that they're educated, but because politics is pushing their face so much, they have more, I guess, for lack of a better term, education on it. So they can see, oh well, CNN is right and Fox is left or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Like where us, it might be happening, but
you're
unless
not
we have a more trained eye, we might not be able to see it.
right. But like there, it's obvious. Like it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
one station's being like, yeah, he hit the target. The other people's like, he didn't hit shit. Like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, what do you even like? This is crazy, bro.
And getting back to the YouTube space itself, and we're getting around the hour mark, so we're kind of rounding up to the end of the interview for our audience who's able to tap in. And salute to the couple of members who did pop in here. Salute to Old John Crow, 416 Trackstar Music, and salute to Fall Leafs who was in here earlier. Um, YouTube period. Like, where do you think it's going? Like, do you think hip hop's going to be a driving force in the algorithm in 2026? Or are we going into other directions? Like, there's options like live streaming, true crime is still kicking ass. Like, where are we going right now with YouTube?
Yeah, I think true crime is definitely like the biggest, probably the most successful niche, probably, right? I've been seeing the
Mm,
numbers and stuff. I think everyone likes that kind of stuff, right? And even when I look at what I watch, and me and my girl, like we're always watching those types of documentaries
hmm
and like the Gilgo Beach serial killer and stuff like that, right? I find all that stuff interesting. Uh, I think hip hop is still in a pretty good place on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got guys like Luesta, he's killing it.
Yes.
I've been watching a lot of the commentary channels. Like I watch you a lot.
Thank
Hello
you.
Yassine. I really like him as a commentary channel.
Dope.
Really dope. He's so good at just going off top. Like he just kind of it comes really natural for him. He's very good at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Flacco too. Yeah, I think it'll probably stay like the same as it is, right? With
Wait,
the documentaries and shit. What do you think?
hold on, because that's this. You're mentioning two different niches, right? Like Luesta and guys like, let's say, Trapler Ross and different people. They're doing, and yourself, you guys are doing, YouTube essays, documentaries. But then guys like Flacco or Hello Yassine, who does both, but Hello Yassine does a lot of commentary. They're doing commentary videos. So I right now I'm watching Flacco and different guys like that who do commentary, and outside of the hip hop niche, like more Pegasus and different guys like that. Like that shit just kills, bro.
It does.
Slop tubing, they call it also.
Yeah, because like the downfall of this guy, the downfall of that guy, how this guy destroyed his career. How did like
and even somebody that we mentioned earlier, not one of your favorite people, deleted. Like he's part of that slop tuber category. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think he obviously takes influence from what those guys are doing. I think he's even mentioned those people before. And like Delete is not even someone that I don't really hate Deleted. Like obviously he makes videos about me, and like I don't really even watch most of them. Like I'll skim through them, but like there's a lot of them I don't watch because I find it's like very repetitive. So like he's just doing it for content, right? I'm obviously he's trying to destroy my career in the process, but
Yes, technically, but as far as the whole slop tuber arc, no. And, because it's part of the whole content trend. It's part of the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? You can put somebody's face on a thumbnail big and then put "it's over" right next to them, and it's going to run up the views. So like you can't really take it personally. Like what's his name? Ludwig is going through it right now because of his party that he just had. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't really take what he does personally. Like, and even with Justin, like, me and him had our thing, and then he just kept it moving, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I watch a lot of his stuff too, to be honest with you. I think he's really, really dope too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, like I definitely regret like firing on him like the way I did, like very emotionally, right? Because I think he's actually a good dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Curtis, that's the only guy I really got a problem with.
Don't worry, we won't go back there. Come back to the light, man.
Yeah, like yeah.
But like with the making those commentary videos, I think that might be the future, bro. Because attention span is also shrinking. It's always shrinking. It's always getting exponentially shorter year by year.
Yeah.
The documentary videos, those can still work for the people who have longer attention spans. So like internet anarchist or somebody can and people like yourself can still eat off of those videos.
Yeah.
But slop tubers just, hey, this is happening with this person. Let me just go crank up the mic and talk about this person, and it'll take like 10 minutes as long as we get past that 9-minute mark for YouTube.
Yeah.
We out here, you know what I'm saying?
Atazi, I think his name is
Atozi.
Yeah. He like that type of thing, right?
Yeah. And Flacco and everybody who does that shit.
Flacco is killing it.
Yeah.
Flacco was killing it. And like I remember it was a certain time where he got so much hate in his comments, and he still does. But now people are really appreciating what he's doing. It's kind of hard not to. He works really hard.
Yeah, I think it's when it comes to the quote unquote slop tubing, and I want to stop calling it that because it sounds derogatory. Commentary YouTubers. I think what the allure is because it's short bits of information that we can get on. Oh, Diddy. Okay, break down what happened right now. You know what I'm saying?
I could probably do good in that too. Maybe, I don't know.
We might have to work. We might be workshopping in front of the scenes. We might have to talk behind the scenes.
Yeah, that seems like something I could probably do. But
Yeah.
I'm not really for like the downfall of this guy, the downfall of that, because you know I know how that feels. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
know how that
Yeah.
feels, bro.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah,
So, what do you have planned for your content strategy for the rest of the year, man? You know what I'm
bro. I
saying?
want to get
I
back.
know you want to get back to like the next back to your prominence. So like
Mhm.
what's your strategy to do that?
Just keep putting out great content that's undeniable.
Mhm.
Undeniable. Like eventually they won't have any choice but watch because the content's good. Like I know the content's good. I know that because I put my all into every project, right?
Yeah.
So you can't deny good content. That's what I think, right? Like as far as anything that I've done, nothing that I've done is like crazy cancel, like get them fucking out of here, like ship them off. Like I didn't go to the Japanese forest, you know, like 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 he's still kicking too.
Yes.
Doing better than ever. So I think just really great content, man. Just make undeniably good content.
Yeah.
And I'm doing the T-Pain and Drake video right now.
Mhm.
Um, that video really shows exactly why T-Pain is so resentful to Drake
Mm.
because he has been for a long time. See, the thing with T-Pain, bro, he was supposed to sign to Young Money, right? He had a chain made and everything. He had a chain made
Interesting.
and everything, bro. And then they told him like last minute, we don't want you, right? Yes. Yes, he had a chain
Oh.
made, like, Vlad had showed the chain, like, if you look on Vlad, and the thing is, right before that, he was working with Drake. He did 3 or 4 songs with Drake. Drake didn't
Yes.
use any of it, and the see, what Young Money told T-Pain for why they didn't sign him is he said, "Is because you're all like, you're drunk, like, we don't want you being drunk," or whatever, right? So I started thinking, was he, like loaded drunk when he was in these sessions with Drake? And then like Drake was like, man, this guy's a mess. Like, like is that so I tied those parts in. I tied those parts in. And then I also think about, Jay-Z, who did Death of Autotune. That was a blow to T-Pain's career, really. And
Yes.
and and like people like Hove embraced Drake when he came in. People like Kanye, who T-Pain helped embrace Drake. People like Wayne signed Drake. Then that Young Money deal for T-Pain was more than just like a business deal that didn't work. That was like the nail in the coffin of his commercial career. That
I
was
was
the
just
end
about to say that, the
because
nail in the coffin.
that after that he was stuck in a stale position with Convict Music, who wasn't backing them the way that they were. And you could see it in the numbers. I mean, he tried to drop his next album, sold 35K in the first week. He was waiting for a full year on that for this Drake feature, which he never got. He never got the
Yeah.
Drake feature. He was saying on Twitter, "Hey guys, I'm just waiting on this single from Drake." He doesn't get it. And then I started thinking, well, why didn't he get it? Well, it's probably because it was under the pretense of T-Pain being signed to Young Money. He was supposed to be a Young Money artist, but that didn't go through. So I'm thinking, when that didn't go through, he didn't do the feature for him. Drake didn't do the feature. And I don't think you can even blame Drake for it. I think it's a Young Money, Cash Money thing, right?
Mhm.
Like, like as far as working and what's like, Drake wasn't making the calls there, probably, right? I also read something like it said, because T-Pain has backup vocals on The Real Her on Take Care, right?
Mm.
You can kind of hear it, like it's low melodies in the background. And T Mon has talked about that record, and he was like, "Yeah, T-Pain is like not really known, but he's on it." But he's like, "It was crazy to see Drake in the studio with T-Pain, like really telling him what to do, like telling him like, no, write this, write that." Like I really saw his intelligence as a songwriter, and I'm just thinking, man, like you got Drake, this young guy, just like telling the legend T-Pain, like, no, 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 like that's not what we're doing. Go up and
Sunning
up,
him.
up an octave, up an octave. Like, so
Nah, OG, that's not it.
no, that's not it. Like, did anybody tell him that we're not doing like auto tune on the fucking album?
And because it's so crazy that you're saying this, bro, because I uncovered just a little piece of this and I brought it to DJ Zara, right?
Yeah, I watched your convo on it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The little piece that I brought up was the trip to Toronto that he said he drove with his tour bus and all that. And I was like, okay, well, that's enough reason to resent him. But
Yeah.
bro, what you're uncovering right there is a whole other level, because
It's
one, he was rolling with Wayne heavy before all of that, so he probably expected to get that Young Money deal because like Wayne's my guy. So you guys backdoored me basically and and pulled the rug from underneath my feet, because I'm expecting to get this deal because me and Wayne have struck gold together.
Exactly.
And now what? You got this young kid from Canada and I ain't shit no more? Screw this kid.
Exactly. And then like when you look at, all you got to do too is look at the charts, because from 2005 to 2008, T-Pain was that guy. Like he was the guy for hooks. But then under Young Money, it's like, why? Well, yeah, T-Pain will be great for hooks. Maybe we could get him. But then it's like, you look, Drake starts hitting the charts. And within 2 years, he surpassed what T-Pain had done on the charts in like just 2 years, whatever, right? And like, we don't really need T-Pain anymore because Drake is the guy on the hooks now. Drake is the new T-Pain. He's
Everybody
the guy
want to be sounding like Drake, or all my songs is Drake featuring Drake, whatever that
exactly.
was.
Exactly. He's like, what? We don't really need T-Pain anymore. We got the main guy for hooks.
That's
like
crazy.
T-Pain. And like when T-Pain said they told me because of alcohol they wouldn't have me, like to me that's the biggest cop out ever, because Wayne was a fucking mess at that time. Like, like you're not telling me that you're not harming me because I'm drunk when Lil Wayne is your guy. Like
Yeah, but he might have been because he talked about being drunk back in those times and a lot of the things that he regretted from being drunk back then. So he might have been like such a sloppy dummy drunk when he would walk into studios where he might have been incoherent. You're not even, he's mumbling instead of actually making like coherent words. Yeah, so it's like get him out of here. Like he's annoying.
He's not even helping.
Yeah,
like, he's not, and that's what I tied all that together for the video where I'm like, you know, to me the writing's kind of on the wall. He does these tracks. He finds out that he's going to be with Young Money. And he thinks that he's really that sure of it that he gets this very expensive piece made by Young Money's jeweler. Like even the jeweler says, yeah, T-Pain's going to have this. This is for him. He signed him with Young Money. He better, after I made this. He's like, this is, so he finds out he's getting signed. He goes over to work with Drake. And then all of a sudden, now he's not signing to Young Money. Drake's not doing the feature form that he wanted. And then in 2011, he brings up that feature, right? That he was supposed to get for his album. He didn't get it.
Yes.
Then in 2014, I found another interview where he's talking to Snoop Dogg, and T-Pain's like, yeah, I got this thing. I'm trying to get this project together, like of rappers turned singers. I'd like to get me, Drake, CeeLo, Andre. He's like, I'm really trying to put that together. And like, let's just be real. It's 2014, bro. Like T-Pain's cold as ice at this point.
Yeah.
I can't, I can guess that Drake is probably not interested in doing the project. So that's the second time he brought up a collaboration that he wanted to do with Drake. And I found other interviews of him where he's saying like Drake won't pick up the phone. So
damn,
like, bro, I'm really painting the picture of this. Like at the end of the day, T-Pain's a legend. But he is a bitter, jealous hater of Drake. And that's just facts. Drake, like when he says, when T-Pain says, oh, Drake should retire, that's just a representation of his own failed music career, right? That's exactly what that is. Because he looks at Drake as someone that he could have been, or who he feels like he could have been, right? Because Drake is a rapper turned singer, but the thing is with Drake is known, or was known as a guy that was talented at both. T-Pain never was. T-Pain never got credit for being an MC or a rapper because he was pigeonholed as an auto-tune guy, right?
Yeah.
And you know, when T-Pain came in, like I got tons of like little examples of people saying like, you remember the narrative, like he's got no talent, he can't sing.
Yeah,
That was the
yeah,
thing back in the day. And I found tons of like old blog posts like, this guy can't sing. T-Pain sucks. Like he's ruining music. Like that's which is crazy because when T-Pain in 2013, he's on a flight, right? He's going to the 2013 BET Awards.
hmm
And on that flight, Usher comes up to him and says to him, you know, you fucking ruin music,
you
bro.
ruin music.
You ruin
Yes.
music for singers. Now, get this. I'm thinking this is on the way to the 2013 BET Awards. Drake had 14 nominations that year. So he's got to go. Usher, he even said that caused a huge depression for him after Usher said that to him.
I
So
remember
he
that.
gets out the plane. He's in his seat. He's sitting in his seat at the award shows and he's watching the boy clean up. And like all these other people too, who like Future is up for new artist. Future use no Tony Montana, Tony Montana. Like these are guys that
Yeah.
all use auto-tune, right? And he just got completely like abandoned from the industry. So I can see why he's that way, right?
He was probably stewing in his seat over there at the BET Awards,
Oh
just
man.
hot under the neck, like, oh, I hate these guys, man. Oh, these young boys.
You wouldn't believe how many clips I got of him like with like sly remarks about Drake, where someone's like, "Oh, Drake would go in on this, man. Drake would go in." He'd be like, "Yeah, with a fucking weird ass cadence," and then like shit like that,
Oh,
right? That Drake probably even hasn't even seen these things, like the way
see?
he's acting. Like he'll like have another remark like, "Yeah, like fuck everyone's girls," like Drake always does, like and like shit like that.
No. You're saying Drake might have not seen it? Nah, bro. Drake sees everything, bro. And if he didn't see it, one of the man them seen it and said, bro, did you see this?
Yeah. Well, that's why I said in the video, I'm like, look, I understand people criticizing Drake for responding to people like T-Pain in an emotional way, but I don't think Drake looks at T-Pain as T-Pain the podcaster, just like he doesn't look at Joe Budden as Joe Budden the podcaster. He sees Joe Budden as a rapper. So Drake responds and engages with Joe Budden because he can't see him as a media guy. He sees him as the rapper Joe. And
Mm.
same with T-Pain. Like I think he sees him as a musical artist. So when he hears any of these guys get behind the mic and criticize him, he's firing back at him the best way he can. You know?
Yeah, and I think low key he looks at them as failures because they're broadcasters now. You guys couldn't make it in music, so you left music so you can go do something else. Yeah, you're successful there, but it's just because you couldn't be me.
Yeah. And you're criticizing me, the guy that can do it, which is like even ties into the whole T-Pain thing, bro. At the end of the day, he had a pretty short stint at the top, right? He
Mm-hmm.
had 3, I'll even give him 4 years tops, right? Which is a pretty good career in music these days, I guess. But,
Yeah,
you know, he's watching Drake on a 15-year run of dominance, right?
yeah.
And he's doing this under the Young Money umbrella too. The same, you know, he's seeing, you know, Wayne, like the Carter, like, you know, not the recent one, but you know, like selling like close to 1 million units in his first week. Nicki doing 400K, Drake doing 600K, and he just put out his album and it did 35K. He was supposed to
35.
be on Young Money. He was supposed to have this feature from Drake. That could have fucking saved everything for him, bro.
Yeah, that could have brought him back.
That could have brought him back. The Drake feature in 2011, man, could have went a long way. It could have pushed up
Yeah.
the units. So I feel like that's a pretty good theory on, you know, why he, you know what I mean? I think that people might fuck with that.
No, man, this brings me back to why we need What's the Dirt out here in the YouTube space, because I just learned a whole bunch of shit. And listen, I'm out here. I be on these internet streets picking up all of the information, but you just taught me 2-3 things right there where I'm just like, oh, I have to take back my take against Drake and him, maybe getting too mad at T-Pain for this. Like, nah, bro, get at this guy.
He's got reasons, bro. When he claimed this guy been talking with resentment in his mouth for years, he wasn't lying. He wasn't lying.
Facts. It's facts.
No, he definitely not. And I'm really spelling it out in this video. Why? Like, why, right? And
I'm looking
like,
forward
people
to
might
that,
call
man.
it Drake glazing, but it's like, guys, T-Pain is a legend, but clearly he's bitter and jealous, right? Like, I just showed you all these reasons for why. Of course he resents Drake.
Yeah. Nah, man, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to everything that you got coming down the pipeline for 2025, going into 2026. And to be honest, I think we're going to have another conversation before we get to 2026, man. You know what I'm
We're
saying?
going to have a post LA conversation.
Last thing before we get off, when is that trip? So we'll know when our next interview is.
I'll leave that.
We'll talk behind the scenes.
Yeah, we'll talk behind the scenes.
Well, listen, man, I enjoyed this conversation. I think this was our best one out of the 3. You know what I'm saying?
Me too. Actually, you know what's crazy, bro? Our first one was my first interview I ever did. I was crazy nervous to talk to you. Well, I was thinking about that when I came downstairs to come down to the studio. I was like, just all cool, like just coming in to chop it up with you. But at first, bro, I was so nervous to talk to you.
Nah, bro, it's all good because it's the same for me. At first, I was like, I'm interviewing somebody who's doing big things, and I always get that little bit of nervousness because it matters.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when it comes to We Love Hip Hop interviews, and I do recurring interviews with people, I always like to do the first one because we get all of the history and all that out of the way.
Yeah.
And then everything is just updates and chopping it up about different topics that we care about, man.
Yeah, we just had an excellent conversation, just kind of like just going off top, just shooting the shit.
Yeah. Well, listen, man. Stay here, but What's the Dirt is in the building. Make sure to tap into his page. Go subscribe to his page, What's the Dirt on YouTube. Go follow him on Instagram. Also, it's What's the Dirt with all underscores under it. You know what I'm saying? I know we don't usually be caring about the YouTube numbers when we're the Instagram numbers when we're YouTubers, but run up his Instagram as well. You know what I'm saying? For the people in the members out there, salute to y'all. Thank you for watching this. We are off of this. Deuces.
Peace.
End the stream right here.